After each night's event, get the latest scores, highlights, and sports news on Sports Nightly, only on Sports Channel.
Hartford Civic Center Coliseum. It's the NHL on Sports Channel. Tonight it's the Quebec Nordiques and the Hartford Whalers. Good evening, everyone. Rick Peckham and Gerry Cheevers with you tonight. Well, the Nordiques, Gerry, are tied with the Whalers 7 points apiece in fourth place in the Adams division, but Quebec is going in the right direction now, and I guess it all started from Michel Bergeron's reaction to a game in which the Calgary Flames came back from the improbable deficit of 8-3 to tie the Nordiques a little over a week ago, and a kinder, gentler Bergeron took it easy on his club, and the teams responded.
Well, he certainly did, Rick, and, you know, you would expect Bergeron, at least from his past performances, to go into the dressing room screaming and yelling, but he was very silent after that performance by the Nordiques, and the players did respond. I would only have to guess that maybe Bergeron said it's early in the season, and it was bad enough, the performance. Why have me yell and maybe destroy these guys for the season? So he pulled a little reverse psychology on them.
Since then, they've beaten Chicago for their first win on the road 5-3 last Thursday, and they thumped the Minnesota North Stars 7-2 on home ice. Of course, when the Nordiques come to town, from the Hartford standpoint, the key is to watch Peter Stastny. He has destroyed the Whalers over the years, and he's off to a great start against the rest of the league as he's tied for the scoring leadership.
There's no doubt about it. Peter Stastny's one of the class players in this hockey, in this game, and the Whalers have had a problem with him over the years, Rick, and they have to know where he is on the ice. And the best way to defend Peter Stastny is to not allow him to control your blue line. In other words, the forward's got to come back. They got to sacrifice on his shifts to allow the defense to stay up on him.
And 10 of those 18 points he has this season came last week in 3 games. He was the NHL Player of the Week, and he's red hot. From the Hartford standpoint, they wish they had someone who was red hot offensively. Gerry, one of the problems the Whalers have encountered is the fact that the coaching staff and general manager Ed Johnston have been looking for 60-minute intensity on a consistent basis from his team, and so far the Whalers haven't provided it.
Well, certainly not the other night in Montreal, Rick. They played 40 strong minutes, but lost the games because they had a weak second period. You cannot survive in this game with the parity and all in the league if you only play 40 minutes or 45 or 50 minutes. You know, if you get a hot goaltender, maybe you can squeak it out with a performance like that. But to survive in this league, like I said, you have to play 60 minutes, and I don't think the Whalers have done that this year.
Well, Gerry, the Whalers lost that game 3-2 in a late goal by Ryan Walter on Monday. After the game, head coach Rick Lee said he needs his big players to come up and rise to the occasion in these big games like we have here tonight, so he's looking for a lot from Ron Francis, the captain.
Well, the most impressive victory by the Whalers this year took place in Quebec, where Ronnie Francis had 6 points, 3 goals, and 3 assists, and he's certainly looking for a performance similar to that. But there's no doubt about it. As Ronnie Francis goes, the Whalers go. As Peter Stastny goes, the Nordiques goes. It's up to Ronnie Francis and company to, you know, to more or less solve Peter Stastny. It's going to be strength versus strength. Ronnie Francis is going to get a lot of ice time tonight because I'm sure Rick Lee will play him a lot against Peter Stastny. But there's no question, Rick, as you said, they need some production from their big guys.
The Whalers and the Nordiques. It's been a very entertaining rivalry over the years, and we'll be set to renew the acquaintances between these two teams right after this.
The National Hockey League on Sports Channel is brought to you by Mercury. See the new Mercuries from 1990 at your Lincoln Mercury dealer. And by the Discover card. It pays to discover, the card that pays you back.
For a real fan like me, the greatest games are the games I can replay over and over in my memory. Like 1951. Bobby Thompson's ninth-inning homer that won the flag for the Giants. And the Sporting News was there. The Sporting News, America's sports authority.
Call 1-800-238-3100 and get 29 issues of the Sporting News for 4 payments of just $4.99. You'll save 69% off the cover price, 40% off the regular subscription rate. Call now, 1-800-238-3100.
Ain't nothing like a grand slam to make you feel like a real man.
Now on video Grand Slam. Relive all the excitement of baseball in a bases-loaded celebration of America's dream game.
Probably the best thing that's ever happened in a baseball videotape.
I would have played for nothing, you know. I mean, I just love to play baseball.
I mean, it beats working, believe me.
Hitting a baseball is the hardest single thing to do in sports.
Believe it or not, I guessed about 95% of the time.
A genuine superstar of a tape, a gem of a collectible, flat out marvelous, a baseball lover's dream.
Pitchers are the enemy.
They were always the enemy.
I try not to get along with any of them. I just would stay away from them.
I didn't fraternize with them.
They're not really people.
They're the dumbest athletes on the field.
To order your collector's copy of Grand Slam, call toll-free 1-800-238-3100. It's your turn at bat for a Grand Slam. Get in on the excitement and call now. That's 1-800-238-3100.
Tonight's opening face-off is brought to you by Showtime. Showtime exclusives. Here you see them. There you don't.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Tony Harrington with the singing of both the Canadian and American national anthems. The officials for tonight's game: Ron Hogarth is the referee, Gerard Gauthier, and Brian Murphy, the youngest of the NHL officials at 24 years of age, will work this game. Starting in goal for Quebec will be Ron Tugnut, who just turned 22. And Tugnut's off to a good start for a team that is desperately trying to improve defensively and establish a #1 goaltender. And Tugnut looks to be the man off his early season performances. He'll be opposed by the veteran Mike Liud, who is making his third straight start. He's second in the league with that 2.17 goals against average. You see his career numbers against Quebec. Whalers committed 3-6-1 for 7 points. The Nordiques are at 3-4-1. Also for 7 points. Here's Dave Babych on the Hartford defense. Makes the pass to Scott Young. He shoots, and a save by Tugnut. The puck is controlled by Jeff Jackson. Looks for Hall of Famer Guy Lafleur. He couldn't take the pass, and the puck rolls to center. Young flips it in wide of Tugnut. Whalers get Adam Burt and Sylvain Cote paired defensively. Young works up front with Ray Ferraro and also Jody Hull, and we got a whistle for an icing called against Quebec. As we look at Sylvain Cote, who's been nothing short of outstanding, Jerry, recently for the Whalers.
At both ends of the ice, Rick, as you see, 3 goals in his last 4 games. He seems to be more sure of himself than he has been in the past. He's not afraid to lug the puck. He's not afraid to stay in the other team's zone when it's the proper time to stay in there. He's just playing with a lot of confidence. It's good to see him. He's a fine young guy, and you like to see guys like him perform well.
He jumped into this organization at the age of 18 after being drafted in the first round in 1984. And I have to say, this is the best we've seen him play.
Once again, getting a lot of ice time, and that really helps a player that might have been struggling over a period of time.
Whalers have their top line out now. Ron Francis against Pat Verbeek, or with Pat Verbeek on left wing, and Kevin Dineen on right wing against Claude Loiselle. Here's Francis putting it toward the net. Tugnut clears it away. Michel Petit acquired just as the season began from the Rangers for Randy Moeller. Sends the pass ahead, and Loiselle dumps it in deep behind the Hartford net. Racing forward, it's Verbeek. He gets there to touch up, and we have another icing called against Quebec. Fans, if you want to make the best call of the night, you've got to call for a Bud Light, because everything else is just a light.
A lot of jockeying going on. Michel Bergeron, Rick, I think what we're looking at Rick Lee right now, I believe he wants to play Ronnie Francis against Peter Stastny. And Michel Bergeron wants to play Claude Lozelle against Ronnie Francis. Well, we've only played a minute, and Claude Lozelle has been out there for the whole minute outside for about a 10-second shift when Stastny jumped on. We'll see how it develops from here.
Whalers win the draw. Darin shoots, and he hits the goal post. The puck caroms out to Tugnut, and he covers it. Kevin Darin has to be a little frustrated. He's still looking for his first goal of the season.
Players go through times when they're snake bitten, and Kevin's going through one of those times right now. He gets terrific wood in his shot, and this, you see it just coming off the back of the goal post to the back of Tugnut, I should say. That puck come out faster than it went by Tugnut.
Loiselle wins this face-off. Fortier in right wing has it. Gives the puck to Jackson. Back for Loiselle. A step at his man. Loiselle backhands it just wide, and Fortier was busting to the net and got there a little late. Darin with his pass knocked down. It's kept in. Loiselle's in front. He shoots, and he misses on the stick side. Francis can't clear it. Robert Picard with a drive, and it's blocked by Darin. Out comes Pat Verbeek. Former teammate Joe Sorella is back. Picard broke up the pass for Darin. Loiselle is over for it. From the blue line, Randy Ladouceur keeps it in for Darin. Darin looks in front. His pass is off the skate of Picard. Tugnut trying to clear it. Verbeek knocked it down. Francis curls out in front. Sorella stays with him. Verbeek takes the pass, trying to get it out in front against Loiselle. It's picked off by Picard. We've played 2 minutes of scoreless hockey here in Hartford as Fortier flips it in. The Nordiques and the Whalers will both make changes.
I think that's the longest shift of Claude Loiselle's career. He just left the ice.
Loiselle and Sorella came from New Jersey. A trade for Walter Podubny in future considerations over the summer, and Verbeek became a Whaler at the same time. Here's Mikhail Anderson shooting a save by Tugnut, and Evison just missed in the rebound. McDermott wrestled away from the puck by Brown. Mario Marois can't get it out. Cote's shot hit Peter Stastny. Cote hustles back. Stastny has Guy Lafleur in his right, Mike Huff on the left wing. That's the line the Whalers want to watch tonight as Ladouceur shoots it in. Got tangled up with McDermott. Play continues. Here's Peter Stastny at a 3-on-2. Lafleur takes the pass, shoots, and a pad save by Liu. Mikhail Anderson speeds ahead. Evison's with him. Anderson with his pass, broken up by Decision, and Scott Young took it away and just poked it wide. Stastny leads it in for Michel Petit, dropping it for Stastny. He shoots, and a pass save by Mike Liu. Willie Hull trying to clear the zone. The pass was knocked down. Finally, Ray Ferraro gets it free. Hull finds Scott Young. He tries to tee it up, hooks it back. Babych shoots, scores!
Once again, Rick, a good example of the defenseman being part of the offense as Babych follows the play up. We're going to see Jody Hull. He'll get the puck at center ice, and he hit Scott Young, and this is the finishing touches to that play as Babych follows the play in. Here's Scott Young. He spots Dave Babych. Not a great shot here by Babych, but nevertheless, it goes between Tugnut's legs. An important goal for the Whalers, as the first goal is always important.
Babych with his first of the season. Young and Hull the assists at 3:29. Young poked off his stick. Joe Sakic goes to work on him. Darin Kimble, tough guy on right wing for the Nordiques. Backhands the puck behind the net. Adam Burt rushed in there, tapped in front. Kimble shanks his shot. He had plenty of time, but he hurried it. Picard lifts it into the corner. Babych gets rid of it. Three-man rush for the Whalers. Ray Ferraro cuts in, drops it. Hull fires, and he just sends it wide. Bird rushes to get there in time at the point. Hull lost it off his stick, and Joe Sakic off to a great start with 11 points in 8 games for Quebec. Makes his way through center, and he had it swatted off his stick by Adam Bird.
That was a good example of the defense being able to stand up. Sakic, he was just stymied at the blue line, and he had the puck poked off.
For viewers who haven't followed the Whalers much this season so far, that's been a problem that head coach Rick Lee has been trying to correct. Get that defense working more cohesively to allow the defense to stand up. With, of course, involvement from the forwards. Here's Marois with a pass for Ken McRae. Back for Brown. He steps away from Brian Lawton, chops it ahead. Marc Laforge on left wing in this line. The Whalers' tough guy. He's working with Lawton and a pretty large right winger out there, Ed Kastelic, who goes 215 pounds, and Laforge is set to go with someone. Now they got Grant Jennings stepping in there with Paul Gillis. McRae wants a piece of the action. Laforge grabs him. Kastelic will take McRae as a dance partner as we look at Gillis. And away from the action with Gillis and Jennings, we've got a battle brewing near the Hartford bench.
Down near the bench, Rick, it's Kastelic and Marc Laforge. They have a couple. You see McRae right there. I think he's hooked up with Kastelic.
These teams have had some legendary battles over the years, and it looks like they're set to resume such action here tonight. We've played just over 5 minutes in the first period, and Hartford leads at 1-0.
If you want to see the movie Cocktail on TV this fall, Showtime has it. HBO doesn't. Showtime also has Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. HBO doesn't. Showtime has Red Heat. My Stepmother is an Alien. HBO doesn't. The fact is, only Showtime has exclusive rights to these and lots of other top box office hits. Showtime exclusives. Here you see them, there you don't.
The Nordiques have 2 men in the box, the Whalers 3. I don't know, something's a little off keel here because I don't know what this call is going to be. I can't figure what Hogarth's calling here. I mean, Hogarth was tied up in the Jennings-Gillis situation.
Number 12, Ken McRae.
Now watch on the right to the top of your screens. This is going to be Jennings and Gillis going at it right here. They're going to break off, then they're going to start. No, right here, you're going to see them. They're going to go at it.
And number 42, Marc Laforge, 2 minutes for roughing.
I just don't understand that call. I mean, when you're roughing, you have to be roughing it with someone. Marc Laforge, right? He's got a bad rep, right? And I think he's guilty before he really is. He's pronounced guilty before he is most of the time. I've seen him take 2 or 3 penalties this year, Rick, and he shouldn't have taken them, or they shouldn't have been called, I should say. And it's just because he's Marc Laforge, the bad boy with a bad rep. It's hardly fair at times. I'm not so sure that the Whalers deserved an extra 2 in this situation.
He was suspended several times playing in the American League in Binghamton last year, and looking back into his junior career, his roughhouse antics earned him a few suspensions there. And he's explaining to Ed Kastelic and Grant Jennings, hey, I didn't do anything. But he gets the extra penalty for roughing. And Quebec with a red-hot power play. You see their numbers on the season. Almost 30%. The Whalers have picked it up killing the penalties. The Whalers have allowed 3 goals in the last 22 opportunities against in recent action. From the faceoff, Guy Lafleur taps the puck across it. Brown sails one over Liut's head. The rebound comes to the blue line. It's kept in only momentarily as Randy Ladouceur bounces it down the ice. Quebec, with their 2 wins and a tie last week, had a big week with a man advantage as they scored 8 times and 23 chances, and they're whistled for an offside here as we look at Mike Huff.
I'm surprised to see Mike Huff in this power play, Rick. I don't know where Michel Goulet is. Obviously, he's on the second unit. I'm sure we'll see a Michel Goulet on the power play before the evening's over. He's another Nordique that really harms the Whalers.
Now he's a rugged up-and-down type of winger who's battled to get a full-time spot on the Nordiques. He's been in the organization now 7 years. Joe Sakic and Jeff Brown back up to the floor. Stastny and Huff. Jody Hull gets the call in the penalty-killing unit, along with Scott Young, Sivak Cote, and Randy Ledesser for the Whalers. And Young finds the puck, and he taps it away to Hull. He takes his time, and he'll send the Nordiques back with 1:20 left in the penalty. 1-0 Hartford leads, 14-15 to go in the opening period. Out comes Sakic. Sakic cruises in on Ledesser. Beats Brown. They've got Huff parked in front. Sakic over to Brown. The one-timer's deflected. Cote kicks it away, and Young drives it down the ice.
The Whalers have done a good job in this first minute of killing this penalty of not allowing Peter Stastny to touch the puck.
Nordiques drive it in. Michel Goulet is now on. His pass is intercepted by Dave Babych. Lafleur gets it back to Goulet. Out to Petit. Brown to Brown. Takes the shot again, and it's blocked this time by Dean Evison with 30 seconds left on the penalty. Babych clears the zone. Daniel Dore just off the Quebec bench. Sends it in deep. Babych has time to play it. Goulet got a piece of the pass. Brad Shaw, impressive young defenseman with the Whalers, lifts it ahead to Dean Evison. He'll take the shot. It's gloved by Tugnut. He decides to hang on. Hogarth won't blow the whistle, and finally he does. And that's much to the pleasure of the Whalers as time winds down to 8 seconds left on that penalty. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Hartford Whalers and the National Hockey League and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Hartford Whalers, the NHL, and Sports Channel is prohibited. Announcers on this broadcast are selected by Sports Channel and approved by the Hartford Whalers.
You just saw Tugnut and Hogarth, the referee, talking. Tugnut should have really played this. Plenty of time. There's the shot by Evison. Don't forget now the Whalers are a man short. There's not a white sweater around. He should have played it. I would think the next time there would be a penalty involved.
Jennings' penalty is the one that will expire, and he's back on the ice. The Whalers are at full strength, and they have the 1-0 lead. Jackson with a pass back to Picard. Shoots, and it's deflected wide by Fortier. That might have been tipped a couple of times, and we have an Nordique in the net. Loiselle got tangled up with Mike Liut, and Hogarth has a call for us. 1-0 Hartford here in period number 1.
Nothing moves you.
Something wild is coming.
Petra.
The Cougar XR7. It has speed-sensitive steering and anti-lock brakes. But most of all, it has a supercharged 210 horsepower engine. It's becoming a cat-eat-dog world out there. Cougar. All this and the quality of a Mercury.
The Whalers will have a chance now as they go on a power play, their first of the evening. Claude Lozelle, as you see to the left of your screen, interference in the crease as he was tangled up with Mike Liut. Ford always gets called on that, even though Liut did his best not to let him out of it.
Dave Babych and Scott Young will work behind Darin, Verbeek, and Francis on this Whaler power play. Here's Verbeek. He's trailed by Picard. Francis over for the puck, pushes it to Darin, feeds Young. Babych is waiting, pushes it toward the net. It's just wide. Francis scoops it up. Finds it to Darin. Verbeek is parked in front. Francis goes to Babych, fires, and it's tipped by Darin wide of the goal. Francis wins the race for the puck. Young lets it go. It hit Darin. It bounces to Jackson, and he'll send it down the ice and on net. 12 minutes left here in the first period. Hartford leads. A minute 8 left on the Hartford power play. Babych in for McDermott, and he tapped it just wide. He was belted by Petit. Babych has it back again. Young, watched closely by Huff, over for Francis, who's now at the blue line. Petit tries to get rid of it, and the Nordiques are able to clear with 44 seconds left on the penalty to Loiselle. Whalers on the power play, only 2 for their last 30. And as you saw, overall they ranked 19th in the league for the season with only 7 goals. Curtis Lecision rushed in there by Jody Hull. Lecision is bumped. Cote saves the play. And it's poked out to center ice by Jackson. Randy Ladouceur gets some power play time. Cote moves it up ice. Hull steps into that zone. Ferraro's coming late. He couldn't take the pass. Ladouceur will reorganize at center. Mazel set to come out of the box. Quebec is now back to full strength. Hartford has the 1-0 lead as Lecision knocked to the ice by Paul McDermott. The puck and a helmet are up for grabs, and Michel Petit moves it ahead to Jackson. He'll send it down the ice. Loisel races for it. Ladouceur right with him. Ferraro takes over. His pass was knocked down by Peter Stastny. Ferraro recovers it. He gets to the bench. The Whalers make a change. Evison comes out with McHale Anderson and Brian Lawton up front. Babych and Bird are on the back line. Stastny lays it back to Brown. Nordiques are trying to work around a loose stick and a helmet behind the net. Stastny had it poked away by Lawton. It's cleared down the ice as Babych races for it. There's no icing. Dean Evison. Head for McHale Anderson. It's a 3-on-2 for the Whalers. Lawton back to Anderson. It's on goal. A save by Tugnut. It's sent wide on the rebound by Babych. And the puck comes all the way back to Hartford ice.
We mentioned it earlier this evening about the Whalers hitting the net. We just saw a good example of that is Dave Babych, a defenseman up in the hash marks. He missed the net by 5 feet and they got caught. You got to hit the net.
Hartford has the 1-0 lead. Let's pause for a regional break.
The Sports Channel Pro Boxing Tour. It's a knockout only on the Sports Channel America Network.
Are you tired of paying too much for a Christmas tree? Trying to cram a tree into the trunk of your compact car? Cleaning up the mess? And not getting a fresh tree?
There must be an easier way.
We take the hassle out of Christmas. A fresh tree delivered right to your door. Cut to size and set up if you like. Trees from 4 feet to 20 feet. Priced from $25 to $85, depending on type and size. Perfect for home or business. A limited number of quality trees is available in each delivery area. So you must order now and avoid the Christmas rush. This is a limited time offer. You must call now for best delivery dates, and prices will increase closer to Christmas. Visa and MasterCard welcome.
Order now and receive a free Christmas ornament and pamphlet on caring for your tree. Call 1-800-642-7400. Set up in your home and tree stands available for small extra charge. For best delivery dates, call now. 1-800-642-7400.
Not scored. They have never used that power play to take a 2-goal lead.
Early in the season, they were setting a very high tempo in games, and the power play really took them out of it as Tugnut has to make a save on Pat Verbeek. Francis curls in front, and he just sends it wide. Fortier taps it ahead for Loisel. Cote's there to meet him. Dean is back defensively. Just under 9 minutes remaining in the first period. Hartford leads on a Dave Babych goal. Francis to Ladouceur in the give and go. Trying to hook it in front. It's blocked by Cirella. Ladouceur back to Cote. Lets it fly. Tipped and it hit Deneen. 3 shots have hit Kevin Deneen already in this game.
And a goal post. Don't forget that. That hurt more than anything.
Here's a pass ahead for Jackson. Dropping it for Fortier. Snap foot off into the shin pads of Ladouceur. The puck is loose. Randy can't find it. Fortier tries to, and Ferraro had to haul him down. And Ray Ferraro will be sent to the penalty box as a result.
When Randy Ladouceur stopped that shot, he lost control of him. That's why it happened.
Nordiques will have their second power play chance when we come back.
For the Taylor Museum, the Academy Award-winning film director, Sidney Pollack.
You know that one of the world's finest collections of Southwest Indian and Hispanic folk art is right here in Colorado Springs? Now, not to take advantage of a resource like this would really be a shame. If you join the Fine Arts Center, you can take a fascinating trip through the cultures of the Southwest anytime you want to. And it's free.
Become a member. Join the Fine Arts Center today. Call 634-5581.
Here's Michel Bergeron, the petite tiger. To me, that means a small tiger means a pussycat.
I don't know about that description of Michel Bergeron.
Like I was about to say, as we went to break there, the reason Ferrara had to take the penalty when Randy Ladouceur made the block, he lost complete control of the play. He had no idea where the puck was. Instead of staying there, smothering it, he decided to play it, and they got themselves into trouble.
Ferraro in the box for holding. And the Whalers clear the zone. Dean Evison works with Anderson up front. Shaw and Jennings are back defensively. Quebec has Goulet, Sakic, and Dore up front. Goulet gets the pass. Feeds it out to Brown. He shoots a pad save by Liu. Brown had oodles of room and time to get that one away. Marois the other point man for the Nordiques. Sakic lost the handle, and Evison will swat it down the ice.
And Mike Liu was having his good years, and he's having one this year. Those legs were working. And I'll tell you, he's made 3 very good saves tonight, all with the left leg, the quickness of his legs.
Down goes Goulet. Scott Young will send the Nordiques back. Quebec, despite its success on the power play overall, second best in the league at almost 30%. They're only 2 for 20, including their first chance here tonight on the road. So they've done nearly all of their damage on home ice. Marois. The pass for Goulet. Lafleur is breaking. He's stopped by Mike Liu. Oh, plays a rebound away right to Goulet, and his shot is blocked by Cote. Stastny has it. Back to Brown. Stastny with 30 seconds left in the penalty. Goulet back to Peter Stastny. They find Marois. The long backhand tries, intercepted by Cote, and he'll rush it up ice, at least as far as the benches, where he'll head for Francis and Deneen, Babych, and Burt. They'll come on. Tease pass is knocked down by Adam Burt. Kevin Deneen carries on, had his pocket picked by Lafleur. Burt steals it. Deneen gets it back. Francis joins him. Pass to Babych. Penalty's over. Babych shoots a save by Tugnut, and he corralled the rebound for Guy Lafleur. He fights off a check from Deneen. 38-year-old Lafleur drops it for Stastny, who couldn't reach the pass. Whalers trying to get something going offensively, and Verbeek has it 2-on-1 now with Deneen. And the pass is just by his stick, and he throws it in front, and Tugnut plays it aside to Lafleur. Francis recovers it. He'll barge right through, fights his way to the net, and he just flipped it wide. Fans wanted a penalty on Petit for dumping Francis. They don't get one, and Hogarth blows the whistle as the puck is under Ronnie's knees. 1-0, Hartford leads. Let's pause for a regional break. You're watching the National Hockey League on Sports Channel.
If you want to see the movie Cocktail on TV this fall, Showtime has it. HBO doesn't. Showtime also has Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. HBO doesn't. Showtime has Red Heat. My Stepmother is an Alien. HBO doesn't. The fact is, only Showtime has exclusive rights to these and lots of other top box office hits. Showtime exclusives. Here you see them, there you don't.
The Whalers have done an excellent job in killing penalties this evening. But you have to be lucky sometimes, and what we're going to see is Guy Lafleur all alone. And watch the puck. It's bouncing. He cannot get good wood on it. And he sort of more or less flutter busts it towards the net. I remember in the old days, that would be on the stick and in the net, and you'd be waiting to face off at center ice.
Lafleur now in his 16th year in the NHL, the second year of his comeback. He had 18 goals for the Rangers last season. He didn't hesitate signing as a free agent with Quebec this summer. With Bergeron on board, he liked playing for Michel last year. And of course, Lafleur had some great junior years, to say the least, in Quebec. They retired his number from his efforts with the Quebec Remparts back in the late 60s and right at the start of the 70s.
I remember they were in the Memorial Cup semifinals. They were playing in my hometown with St. Catharines, and all I heard about was Guy Lafleur. And I went to watch the game, and I didn't recognize him on the ice. I didn't notice him. But then I picked up the paper the next day. He had 3 goals and 2 assists. There's a player with him at that time called Jacques Richard, who was fantastic. Never played in the same line, you know.
Is that right? Now, Richard that year had 75 goals. Wow, what a terrific year. He was 55 behind Lafleur.
I know.
He had 130.
But Lafleur was very, just snuck up and down his wing when the puck was on his stick. It was usually it.
Picard shoots, and it's gloved by Liut. He wasn't taking any chances on that one with Gillis driving to the net. Gillis is an interesting story. This is his first game of the season. He was struck with a virus in the off-season. It developed into a nervous disorder called Guillain-Barré syndrome, where he lost control of his muscles and went numb from time to time, and it's been a struggle to get ready for the season. He was finally able to get back on the ice after the regular season began.
Is he not back sooner than expected, though? Hasn't it cleared up a little quicker than they thought?
It could be. We saw him early in the season, the first weekend. He wasn't sure what was going to happen as far as when he'd be back to play. Petit back around for Kimble. He let it go, and Jennings will take over for the Whalers. 5 minutes left in the first period. Hartford leads. A goal by Dave Babych, his first of the year, from Scott Young and Jody Hull at 3:29. Jennings out for Lawton. He missed the pass. Anderson races ahead. Tugnut has to play it, so there's no icing because of Anderson's speed. Sakic tries to get a rush underway for the Nordiques. He swings away from Mikhail Anderson. A pass ahead for Petit. Sakic cuts in. He shoots, and it's off Cote's skate. It bounced wide. Ladouceur plays it off the quarter boards to Paul McDermott. It's a 4-man Hartford rush. McDermott on the off wing. Drops it for Anderson. He saw Cote coming late. Can't get it out in front. He's crunched in there by Petit. Evison gets it back. Looks for McDermott. He's stopped by Tugnut. The rebound just went wide. Then in front, Hull shoots, and it's blocked. As it was Petit who sprawled in front of Tugnut to save the day there for Quebec. Sakic goes down. Goulet trying to shovel it ahead. He gets it right back at his stick.
Tugnut's save on McDermott. He was going one way and did not know he saved it.
Cote drives it in. Brown flips it down the ice. Icing waved off. Babych catches up. Leaves it for his youthful defense partner, Adam Bird, who's just 20 years of age. Babych gets it back. Babych shoots. Is wide. He had Tugnut leaning the other way. Hull puts it in front. Babych gets his stick on it. Picard fences forward with Ferraro. Babych gets back to hold the play in. Gets some help from Young. Picard, the 12-year man, sails it out of the zone. Sorella bangs it off the boards. Lafleur is tied up by Ferraro. It's worked away by Stastny. Huff is with him. Stastny hangs on to it. Shoots, and Liut got an arm on it.
A tough save for Mike Liut as Stastny going to his left from back and fired it to the opposite side. Liut maintained the middle of the net to make the save.
Tugnut makes the save on Ferraro, and back come the Nordiques as Huff will push it in. With 9 shots on young Tugnut so far in this first period. They have a 1-0 lead. They've outshot Quebec 9-4. Von Loisel bounces it by Bradshaw. Jennings comes across court. 2:20 remaining in the first period as Darin charges in, goes to Verbeek, shoots, he scores!
A terrific release by Pat Verbeek. As soon as he received the pass from Darin, it was in the top right-hand corner. Bingo, right up over Ron Tugnut. Tugnut really had the thought that Darin was going to come in and shoot. And he got caught a little out of his net. Here's Kevin right here, but he sees Verbeek all the way. He accepts the pass and quickly puts it up. It looked like Tugnut had made up his mind. He said, I got to go get Kevin Darin. And he was a little out of position by the time the puck got by him.
Curtis Lecision with a shot, a 6 save by the Ute. He plays the rebound away. Lozelle trying to get it out in front. Francis goes down. Fortier shoved him to the ice, and Shaw works it to Deneen. Whalers now in front 2-0. Under 2 minutes to go in the period. Francis and Verbeek cut in. Francis is alone, and he just sends it wide. Kevin Deneen. Checked by Fortier. Francis struggles in that corner. Lozelle went bouncing off Deneen, who shoots, and it's off Lecision's ankle. Cote chops it into Francis. Deneen with a one-timer, and he shanked his attempt. Petit has Fortier waiting for the pass. They push it ahead, and we get a whistle. Behind the play, Deneen and Jackson start to get tangled up. 2-0 Hartford leads late here in the first.
Tickets for Webb.
We interrupt this purchase for a reminder.
Here we go.
There's another decision worth entertaining.
Very smart.
Choosing a card that actually pays you cash. Cash back for every charge. The Discover card.
I'm starved.
It pays to discover the card that pays you back.
Coincidental calls to Jackson and Deneen. Slashing, I guess, goes to both of them. Well, the Whalers have played some of their best, the best hockey they've played this season, put it that way. It's been when they've been aggressive. They were somewhat aggressive. Oh, here we go.
Laforge and Kimble. And Laforge leads with a left, and Kimble comes back with a right hand. And Laforge and Kimble punching away furiously, and Kimble lands on top on this one, and Laforge is cut, and he is bleeding. And he's going to the dressing room. Well, the puck came right to Laforge, and he didn't even look at it. He was looking right at Kimble.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Marc Laforge received one in the left eye, and that's what opened him up. Kimble threw a good left there, and that's what got Laforge. Laforge was throwing the left, but he received the left, and that's what did the damage. As I was saying, well, this took what just began. Well, we'll take a look at the start of this, Rick. If the Whalers have played their best hockey when they've been aggressive. I'm not so sure this is correct, but let's watch right from the start. Right at the bottom of your screen, there goes the gloves. A little sparring right now. They're both going left-handed. I think the scouting reports were right-handed. I don't think he has cut him yet, but he's going to, oh, it's with his right. It's in the left eye. Oh, right there is where he opened it.
Well, they get fighting majors in 10-minute misconducts at 18:40.
I thought Kimble was a left-hander, to be truthful. Maybe he's both.
Most right-wingers are.
That's right.
Left-handed. And we get the whistle, and now we've got Kastelic trying to go here with Daniel Dore. Kastelic's trying to work with the left, and now we'll go with the right, and Dore comes back, and wow.
Two pretty good ones.
Is this the Sports Channel Pro Boxing Tour, or the first period of the Whalers and the Quebec Nordiques? Good tussle there. Dore, the youngster who was drafted in 1988. He was the draft pick that Quebec received for Bergeron going to the Rangers. Then they get Bergeron back again.
They get Kastelic. That was a pretty good one. I would have to call the two bouts tonight 1-1. I don't know who's going to decide this, break the tie. I would certainly give Kimble a victory for opening up Laforge with that right, and I would give Kastelic that victory there. But this is a hockey game, not a boxing. What is a bunch of matches? A tournament? It wouldn't be a boxing tournament.
Boxing card?
A card, yeah.
He's been in a few boxing cards as we looked at Rick Lee a moment ago, who's donned the spectacles tonight. High-sticking minors fighting majors to Kastelic and Dore at 1849. Now, through the years, these clubs have had some big battles.
Well, Rick, talking before the game, watching warm-up, you or more or less thought that this would happen tonight. We didn't say it in the opening because I really don't like talking about that before a game, but I guess boys will be boys.
Going back to when the Whalers at 4th place, making the playoffs for the first time in several years, upset the Quebec Nordiques, who had won the Adams Division Championship in 1986. The Whalers upset them in the playoffs. The next year, the Nordiques turned the trick, but the hostilities certainly grew in the rivalry from there. The shot by Huff goes wide. It's sent out in front. Burt tries to clear it. The Whalers move it down the ice with 40 seconds to go in the period. Lecision gets there ahead of Anderson. Petit across to Ken McCrae. Puts it in front for Gillis, and he sends it wide as Burt just crawled to get a piece of that shot. Anderson. He couldn't get it in deep as Brown takes it, hands it to Petit. Chops it in toward Liut. Liut will scoop it away himself. Jennings backhands it ahead. Lafleur knocked it down. Young has it. 6 seconds to go in the period now. And Bradshaw and Jennings look up ice, and they take a look at the scoreboard, and time has run out in this first period. The Whalers with a 2-0 lead, and as we check the scoring summary, Dave Babych opened it up for the Whalers at 3:29 with his first from Scott Young and Jody Hull. Then Pat Verbeek, as he took a shot right off a Kevin Dineen pass, made it 2-0. Pat's 7th goal at 17:45 to make it 2-zip. The shots 11-5 favoring the Whalers in the first period. Had plenty of good opportunities on young goaltender Ron Tugnut. The Nordiques missed on both their power play chances. The Whalers got just one and missed on their opportunity. We'll be joining Sports Nightly as the Whalers lead here 2-0 right after this.
Are you tired of paying too much for a Christmas tree? Trying to cram a tree into the trunk of your compact car? Cleaning up the mess and not getting a fresh tree?
There must be an easier way.
We take the hassle out of Christmas. A fresh tree delivered right to your door. Cut to size and set up if you like. Trees from 4 feet to 20 feet. Priced from $25 to $85 depending on type and size. Perfect for home or business. A limited number of quality trees is available in each delivery area, so you must order now and avoid the Christmas rush. This is a limited time offer. You must call now for best delivery dates, and prices will increase closer to Christmas. Visa and MasterCard welcome. Order now and receive a free Christmas ornament and pamphlet on caring for your tree. Call 1-800-642-7400. Set up in your home and tree stands available for small extra charge. For best delivery dates, call now. 1-800-642-7400.
Sports Channel puts you on the 50-yard line for exciting Fighting Irish football.
And it is Johnson up the middle. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame defends their top ranking against the toughest football teams in America.
It's a race, and Ismail is gone. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
This week, the Fighting Irish collide on the gridiron with the Pittsburgh Panthers. 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific on Sports Channel Sunday. Sports Channel delivers Virginia Tech football. The Hokies have their sights set on a winning record and a bowl bid. To keep the dream alive, they'll need to get past Tulane. Live at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Sports Channel Saturday. The blistering slap shots, the bone-crunching body checks, the joy of winning.
And his pocket picked by Murray. The shot. Hawks win. Hawks win.
The network home of the National Hockey League is Sports Channel.
Welcome to Sports Nightly Studios, New York. I'm Lee Zeidman. 5 other games in the NHL tonight. The New York Rangers have the best record in hockey, unbeaten at home. The Broadway Blue Shirts are playing host to struggling Edmonton. The Oilers have just 1 win in their last 7 games at Madison Square Garden. Oilers aggressive from the outset. Watch Jeff Bokaboom up and Brian Mullen. The Oilers were hitting a little too much, and shortly thereafter, New York has a 2-man advantage. Darren Turcotte fires through the crowd, gets it past Bill Ranford, 1-0 Rangers. Edmonton comes back on a power play of their own. Martin Jelena parks in front of the net, tips it past Bob Froese. We've got a tie game. Oilers will go on top, though, late in the opening period. Watch Craig Simpson send the pass to Peter Eriksson, who is taken down but still gets the goal. Eriksson shaken up but unhurt. 2-1, Edmonton leading after 1 period of play. In Pittsburgh, Mario Lemieux and the Penguins have lost 2 straight home games, and Toronto is visiting the Igloo tonight. First period, we're tied at 1. Phil Bourque feeds Dan Quinn. He'll take a quick shot, get his own rebound, and beat Alan Bester 2-1. Leafs come right back, though. A 2-on-1 break. Lou Francischetti, the initial shot, comes in and squeezes the puck underneath Tom Barrasso to tie the game at 2. Still in the opening period, Rob Ramage takes a big shot. Daniel Marois picked up the loose puck, backhanded it past a sprawling Barrasso to make it 3-2 there. Very pretty performance so far by Toronto, and the Leafs have won their last 2 games. It's 3-2 after 1 period. Also tonight, 8:35 starts. We've got Washington and Winnipeg warming up. The Capitals trying to snap a 3-game winless streak in Winnipeg, where the Jets shot down the Oilers on Sunday. In Minnesota, the North Stars have come down to earth after opening with a 6-game unbeaten streak. The Sabres come in with 2 straight victories. They're getting ready for face-off 2. And don't forget tonight's doubleheader game. Calgary collides with the Kings live from Los Angeles, the first meeting since the Flames burned Gretzky and company in the playoffs. We'll take a break, then meet one of the highest-paid players in the game.
This is a golfer. He'll play anywhere. Golf Digest magazine helps his game anywhere he plays with instructional articles from top pros. So wherever you play, play better with Golf Digest.
Get a full year of Golf Digest for $16.77. Call 800-841-0300 now and get our free half-hour instructional video with your paid subscription. Call 800-841-0300.
Turn on Sports Channel any night of the week for exciting sports action.
Fifth over center, the pass to Chelios, picked off, Gilmore cutting him on one. He scores!
Witness excitement on ice with more than 50 NHL regular season games, plus unprecedented coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
It's a race, and Ismail is gone. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
Follow the Notre Dame tradition with a full slate of Fighting Irish sports, featuring top-ranked football and basketball. Climb into the ring every week with the Sports Channel Pro Boxing Tour. It's a knockout. Tune in to Sports Nightly for up-to-the-minute scores, highlights, and news before and after every event. And there's more, including the National Federation High School Game of the Week, daily thoroughbred racing, the Boston Marathon, professional tennis, top college basketball action, and international amateur events. Turn on Sports Channel for exciting sports.
Welcome back to New York. Quebec's Peter Stastny fits the bill as one of the NHL's top guns, currently tied with Wayne Gretzky and Sergei Makarov for the early season scoring lead, but Hartford has on its roster one of the highest paid scorers in the league. Sports Channel's Dan Fischler tells us Kevin Dineen's nose for the puck converted to lots of cash.
Sometime in the distant future, perhaps when Jupiter is part of an expanded National Hockey League, they will still be debating the question. Who's better, Wayne Gretzky or Gordie Howe? Well, the great one seemed to have decided it in his favor this year when he surpassed Howe's record of 1,850 points.
Taylor to Gretzky, he scores! Wayne Gretzky has tied it and broken Gordie Howe's record.
I thought it was pretty safe at that particular time. I said, that impresses me too.
That obviously was not a story on Kevin Dineen, but we do have that story. Let's talk about Kevin Dineen.
Kevin Dineen may be the wealthiest garbage man in the world, and I'm not talking about a refuse collector. The Hartford Whalers forward specializes in what hockey people call garbage goals. For that, he just received a $500,000 a year contract, making him one of the top salaried men in the NHL and the highest on the Whalers.
I was extremely happy with it. I was, you know, glad that it finally got worked out, and it's going to give me a little long-term security, and, you know, so it's a nice thing to have, and, you know, I just have to go and live up to it on the ice.
Dineen is no Wayne Gretzky, nor is he a Mario Lemieux. He's an average skater and modest stick handler. So how come he scored 45 goals last year? Tops on the Whalers.
Scoring goals for him, it's just a matter of his hard work. He just keeps persisting, and he has pure, perseverance to no end. He works his tail off. He's, always got his nose in there. He goes to the net extremely well, and if you back check him or something, he's not going to let up.
What also distinguishes Darin from other hockey superstars is the added dimension to Kevin's game. In a physical sport, he hits and hits and hits again.
He's go, go, go at all times. He takes the body. He's very feisty. I think it's an effective part of the game, and it adds a little wear and tear on the body, but as long as you're in there and you're working hard and you're grinding, and I got a guy like Verbeek in there also, so we seem to work pretty well going in there and doing lots of grinding and playing the body.
Darin knows he's never going to be a dipsy-doodle dandy on the ice, but it's very comforting to know that you can be a hockey garbage man and still earn $500 grand a year. Stan Fischler, Sports Channel.
Darin missed the first 5 games of the season. A reaction to prescription medication made him gravely ill and weakened him considerably. He's tallied just 3 assists, including tonight's, in the 5 games he's played. Well, that's the news for now. We'll see you again after period 2. Send you back to Hartford after this.
SportsChannel America is the network home of the National Hockey League. All season long, we'll bring you the stars and division rivalries that make the NHL the hottest game on ice.
The historic Montreal Forum is the site for this next contest. NHL strongman Marc Messier captains the Edmonton Attack. The Oilers are looking for their first Forum win in over 3 years. Stepan Richer and the Canadiens aim to keep the streak alive. Live at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, only on Sports Channel, Sunday.
Tuesday, Sports Channel dazzles you with the latest in thoroughbred action nationwide on Inside Racing. Join Harvey Pack for the weekend review, plus helpful hints on what's ahead. Inside Racing, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, exclusively on Sports Channel, Tuesdays. Keep pace with some of the major contenders in college sports from the Southeastern Conference on SEC Weekly. Tune in to an in-depth look at one of the nation's best conferences every week. SEC Weekly, Friday at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, exclusively on Sports Channel.
On the next Seoul Olympics Encore.
We kept watching for you to catch Ben Johnson, as you have done so many times in the past. When did you know that the race was over?
The 100 meters is only 10 seconds, but in 3 seconds, there's so much happened. I mean, I went from this point of, yes, I'm going to win this race, to let's go get him, and then all of a sudden he's not coming, and then by 90 meters, it was, he did it again.
The Seoul Olympics Encore, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on Sports Channel, Thursday.
Welcome back to the Hartford Civic Center Coliseum with the Whalers lead here at the intermission 2-0. Rick Peckham and Gerry Cheevers with you. And Gerry, the Whalers put forth a very impressive first period.
They did a lot of things right, Rick. The first thing they did was they killed the 2 power play opportunities that the Nordiques had, and the Nordiques power play has been very hot of late. And secondly, they did a great job of not allowing Peter Stastny to touch the puck. I think if he did have the puck, it was only for 3 or 4 seconds in that first period. And they were more aggressive than they have been in the past, so some positives certainly for the Whalers.
Well, continuing the saga of Kevin Danin's frustrations in the early part of the season, let's see a chance he got early in tonight's hockey game.
Well, this is going to be right from the face-off. It seems that Ronnie Francis, more than any centerman in the league, always has a plan in the offensive zone, taking in the draw. As you can see here, he kicks it back to Kevin, and once again, Kevin hit the post, and we said he's been snake-bitten this year. And, you know, when you stand in front of the net and take a shots from your defenseman like Kevin had a couple times this period, it doesn't hurt as much if those goals go in. Now, this is the Babych goal. Scott Young is going to see Babych right in the slot as it goes off Jody Hall to Babych, and this goes through the legs of Tugnut. It seems that Tugnut has a problem going laterally, and when he does get over there, he drops, and that leaves the 5-hole open. But Babych, once again, following up the plays. You can see that's his first goal of the season, and for the Whalers to be successful, they need a good offensive year from Dave Babych. The Whalers did catch a break on one of the Nordique power plays. You're going to see Guy Lafleur right at the bottom of your screen break towards the net. He's going to take a pass, but look at this puck. It's bouncing, and Lafleur has a tough time controlling it and sort of lets a off-speed shot go at Liut. Liut almost went past the play, but he did hold on to make the save, and that was as close as the Nordiques got on their power plays, and this will give the Whalers a 2-0 lead. Darin spots Verbeek coming out of the box, hits him, and look how quickly Verbeek gets the shot on net. Once again, Tugnut, you know, scurrying to get back in position, went down, and this went over him too. So it seems if the Whalers hold it somewhat on Tugnut and force him to move laterally, they might have a little advantage.
Well, the Whalers have the lead. They'll go about the task of trying to shut down Stastny and company a bit further when we come back.
Mom, what's rocket fuel made of? Look it up, dear. Look it up, dear.
Stay tuned for a free offer from Encyclopedia Britannica.
Come taste the adventure. Come reach to the sky. Come feel the excitement of who, what, where, why. Open Britannica. Explore and you'll find that living the moment can capture your mind.
To find out more about Britannica for your child, call toll-free
1-800-841-0300.
and we'll send you this free booklet. And just for previewing Britannica in your own home, you can get this 3-volume desk reference set absolutely free. So call this number now.
There's experience for a lifetime in Britannica.
Call now.
This is a golfer. He'll play anywhere. Golf Digest magazine helps his game anywhere he plays with instructional articles from top pros. So wherever you play, play better with Golf Digest.
Get a full year of Golf Digest for $16.77. Call 800-841-0300 now and get our free half-hour instructional video with your paid subscription. Call 800-841-0300 now.
The Whalers will take their 2-0 lead in the second period play. The Whalers will go on a brief road swing to New Jersey tomorrow night. They'll meet the Bruins in Boston Garden for the first time this season on Saturday, a big divisional matchup. Quebec will head for Boston to meet the Bruins tomorrow night. This man Tugnut played very well against Boston on the first weekend of the season with a 38-save performance, and the Nordiques perhaps will count on him again tomorrow night. He's the short end of a 2-0 score right now.
You said in the opening is correct. The Nordiques for so long have been looking for a goaltender, a #1 goaltender. I don't think Goslin ever filled that bill, and I guess the last guy you go back to would have been Daniel Bouchard. But it certainly looks like Tugnut's going to get the chance to be that guy.
He's backed up by 19-year-old Stepan Bissett. And Sergei Milnikov, the 31-year-old Soviet netminder, is with the team. Has not played yet, but he is ready for action when called upon. Jody Hall with a pass for Scott Young, puts it in front, and Ferraro was pushed out of there by Goulet. Lozelle steams ahead. Mike Liud holds it up for Jennings. Ferraro cuts into